Imagine a king so devoted to his late father that he built an entire fortress city just for him. Welcome to the Suwon Hwaseong Fortress, and welcome back to Travel Whiskers. Today, I spent a whole half a day walking this UNESCO World Heritage Site located just outside of Seoul. I'll tell you how to get there, and what path I walked in order to best appreciate this magnificent site. Hwaseong Fortress is about 5.7 kilometers in circumference, and would take about 2 to 3 hours to walk around, and slightly longer if you were to walk around it more leisurely. The wall is not continuous at some parts, however. So before the journey, I got some bibimbap for brunch. I had wanted to start earlier, but I didn't realize how few places were open for breakfast in Korea, but I do love the banchan that always comes with your meal. We hopped on the Magongo train from Seoul Station to Suwon. It took about 30 minutes. We can take the Magonghwa, the KTX, or the ITX. All take about the same time. The cheapest option is to take the subway line 1 from Seoul to Suwon, which would take about an hour. Hwaseong Fortress is a UNESCO World Heritage Site built from 1794 to 1796 by King Jeongjo to honor Crown Prince Sado. More on this intense and tragic story later. It became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997, recognized for the very advanced military engineering at the time, merging not only Korean architecture, but also Chinese and even Western ideas to build this military marvel. Here's my recommended walking path. Start at Padalmun, the south gate. Padalmun is one of the only gates that has not required much restoration over the years, remaining intact for much of history. If you have a chance to come back at night, the nighttime illumination of Padalmun is incredibly photogenic. The reason I suggest to start your tour here is because you climb Padalmun Mountain up many stairs, and this is the hardest part, the climb up. Do this first. Then the rest of the journey is relatively downhill. That's why I suggest to start here. And the view up top Padalmun Mountain is incredible. You get a great panoramic view of Suwon. You don't want to miss it. And you will pass by Sojangdae on your way to the North Gate, which I highly recommend. The fortress encircles 130 hectares or 1.3 square kilometers, which is referred to as the Old Town or Historic Center of Padalgun District. By late Joseon standards in the 1790s, this was a huge, ambitious project, housing markets, government buildings, and residences. If you made it up the climb, congratulations. Catch your breath and take some time to rehydrate yourself. After a short break, I walked along the ridge towards the Southwestern corner pavilion. There are 4 such pavilions at each of the 4 corners of the fortress. It can be used for leisure, but is also a lookout post, as it is high enough to see the entire surrounding area. Take off your shoes. Step into the pavilion and imagine yourself as a soldier or general in the past, spending your days on the lookout while taking breaks in between. Walking north from here, you'll run into the Southwestern secret entrance. Let me explain. First, there are 5 secret entrances from which soldiers could bring in food, or messengers could sneak in from, away from the main gates. Second, unlike the other secret entrances, this one actually has a guard post built on top to protect the southwestern area of the fortress. So I guess not so secret anymore, right? This memorial is a reminder of Korea's 1919 Samul movement against the occupying Japanese, which is also celebrated as a national holiday on March 1st. This is a bastion on the west side, a protruding part of the wall with murder holes from which archers can see and shoot arrows from. There are a total of 10 bastions around Hwaseong Fortress. This is the Western Guard Pavilion. A guard pavilion is a protruding side of the wall with a guard tower for spotting and defending against enemies. There are 5 such guard pavilions around Hwaseong Fortress. Hyowon's bell is a symbol of filial piety, something that is so strong in Korea historical culture, and fits the story of the king's dedication to his late father. Ring the bell 3 times, first to show respect to your parents, second to wish your family good health, and finally to realize your dreams. The Western secret entrance is one of 5 secret entrances around the fortress, used by spy messengers or soldiers bringing in food or supplies secretly into the fortress. As you can see, it is still a pretty steep climb getting up Padalmun mountain. Good exercise though. This is one of the key locations of Hwaseong Fortress. It is the Western Command Post, or Sojangdae. It is the Grand Pavilion near the summit of Padalmun Mountain. It was a fully functional military command post. Its high altitude allowed generals to view the entire surroundings, and from here, commands were given out in the form of waving flags, drumming, and fire beacons. That's why the view is incredible from here. This is a good time to talk about King Jeongjo and his late father. His father was the Crown Prince Sado. Unfortunately, the Crown Prince Sado and his father, King Jeongjo, did not have a good relationship. The Crown Prince Sado became isolated, erratic, and even violent, hurting and killing some servants. In 1792, King Jeongjo made the decision to execute the Crown Prince Sado because the royal blood shall not be tarnished by mental disease. However, it was taboo to be a kinslayer. So, King Jeongjo made an imperial decree for the Crown Prince Sado to enter a rice bucket and have the rice bucket locked shut. Without food for 8 days, the Crown Prince Sado died. He was 27 years old. And that is the tragic end to the Crown Prince Sado. When the son of the Crown Prince Sado became king, King Jeongjo spent a lot of time and effort to bring his father's name out of shame as much as possible as a good filial son. He built this entire fortress for his father. And during a military exercise at the Western Command Post, King Jeongjo felt emotional and wrote a poem, which is now enshrined inside the Western Command Post for all to see. King Jeongjo honors this fortress, his father's tomb, by making it a military stronghold. Furthermore, unlike other such endeavors, he did not use unpaid forced labor. He paid all workers as not to burden his people with his father's name. On this Western archery platform, a mechanical bow could be mounted to ward off intruders. It has got a commanding view of the surroundings from this elevated position. Unfortunately, King Jeongjo died at the age of 48 in 1800. Till this day, historians do not know the exact reason why he died. He was supposedly healthy, and poisoning is the leading hypothesis, but by whom? And why? It is still something that historians debate about even today. A word of warning when you walk the fortress grounds. The stone steps and the ground are uneven. So watch your step and proceed with care. If you twist an ankle during your walk, it might be some distance away from where you can get help. You might have to hobble painfully for some time. So make sure you wear shoes that are appropriate for walking or hiking. The Northwestern Corner Pavilion, one of 4 pavilions at the corners of the fortress, stands next to Hwaseomun, the western gate. From here, you have a panoramic view of the northern and western area of the fortress. And this pavilion actually has a floor heating system called an ondol that keeps soldiers and generals warm during the winter. The famous floor heating system is a clever invention by the Koreans. We are now approaching Hwaseomun, the western gate. Unlike the Janganmun, the northern gate, and Padalmun, the southern gate, Hwaseomun, the western gate, is relatively more modest and quieter. And unlike other gates, it has a protruding semicircular structure called an onsong. When enemies try to storm the gate, archers from the gate and the semicircular onsong rain down arrows on the trapped attackers. Hwaseomun, the western gate, is like Padalmun, the southern gate, in that it remains largely intact, surviving centuries of war and weather. Very little reconstruction effort has been done, and a lot of the original components have remained. Walking on the semicircular onsong, one can imagine the usefulness of this military design, looking down, aiming at the heads of the attacking enemy forces. This is the Northwestern watchtower. It's a lookout post for soldiers, with murder holes dotted throughout the walls to shoot at attacking enemy forces. There used to be 3 watchtowers at Hwaseong Fortress, but now only 2 remains. If you want to take a break, the northern part of the fortress has many trendy cafes, and especially rooftop cafes. The popular ones have long lines, so expect to wait in order to get in. Hwaseong Fortress was built to incorporate cannons and firearms. It was very modern for its time. European fortification methods were introduced by the Jesuit missionary priests. These cannons, however, are just replicas, rather than the original cannons. But you still get the idea. And finally, we reach the northern gate, known as Janganmun. This is a 2-story gate, and one of the most magnificent gates of the fortress, showcasing Joseon architecture and building technology at the time. It is not only the largest gate at Hwaseong Fortress, but it is the largest gate in all of Korea, even bigger than Sungnammun at Namdaemun. This was a deliberate intention of King Jeongjo, who wanted Suwon to eventually rival the other major cities in Korea. There is also a semicircular onsong here, protruding from the gate to rain down arrows on attacking enemy forces. The northern gate deliberately faces Seoul, symbolizing its connection with Seoul and with royal authority. After the Korean War, however, Janganmun required substantial reconstruction work. The name Jangan has 2 meanings. 1, it means capital city. 2, it means the welfare of the people. It is also close to the stream to the east, and there is a design that allows the stream water to be diverted to this gate in case the enemy launches a fire attack. It's a remarkable defense feature built right into the architecture. The stretch from Janganmun to the east is considered one of the most pleasant walks. You will be able to see the Northeastern corner pavilion, and that is arguably the most beautiful structure of the fortress. It sits on a rocky outcrop right above the dragon pond. The foliage around it make you feel like you're in a fantasy historical drama. In fact, it is perhaps the most photographed spot in Suwon. Both during the day and at night, the pond reflects the Northeastern corner pavilion and the beautiful foliage like a mirror. Right below it is the Hwahonmun, or the water gate, or literally translated as the brilliant rainbow gate. The name refers to the rainbow, made when the water sprays through the 7 arched floodgates here, creating rainbow colors. It is one of the most well-preserved structures at the fortress, and together with the northern corner pavilion, it is one of the most photographed in all of Suwon. After the walk from Padalmun to the northern corner pavilion, you deserve a drink. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more from Travel Whiskers. Thanks for watching.